All right, good evening, everyone. Hope you all have had a wonderful day today. Get my notes pulled up. I had my lesson, or I'm going to say class, because I prepared it like a class. Yes, sir. Push the button. Is it not on? Is this better? Better? Good?
He's got the one under that.
Oh, this one. Do I just push it, or do I turn it on?
Slide it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is that better? Perfect. All right. So I'll say class because I had in my head class for some reason. And then I told Anthea I had my class ready. And she's like, no, Kolby, it's a lesson. I was like, well, it's going to be a class tonight. So your thoughts and comments will be much appreciated throughout tonight's class. And I do apologize for that. I know y'all meant lesson. And for some reason I had last year when I did a class in my head. So I apologize for that. But if you would turn your Bibles to Philippians chapter 4. Philippians chapter 4, verses 6 and 7. Philippians chapter 4, verses 6 and 7. Be anxious for nothing, but in everything by prayer and supplication. With thanksgiving let your requests be made known to God. And the peace of God, which surpasses all understanding, will guard your hearts and minds through Christ Jesus. What I want to focus on tonight is something that can be either talked about a lot or not talked about enough. And that is our mental health and our Christian health. We'll get into that here in a minute. But our mental health. Cast your anxieties on, or be anxious for nothing, Be anxious for nothing. How easy is that to do? It's super easy, right? I'm never anxious at all. I've never been anxious in my entire life. It's super easy. No, it's super hard. Especially for some people. It just depends on what you're going through. I know I talk a lot about my job, but it's literally all I've ever done is firefighting, so that's all I kind of know. But that job has put me through a lot. And what really kind of had this idea going, I've had this idea for a lesson like this for several months, because I came home from shift one day, like I normally do, and came in, Anthea was making breakfast, and I was telling her about our night, and we had, to me it was nothing, but to her, she was the call that we ran. She's like, that's insane. That's crazy. That doesn't sound good. That sounds terrible. And I'm like, it was just a call. That's just my mindset. And I'm not trying to brag. I'm not trying to say I can go through all this stuff and look at how tough I am. I'm sure Brad and Andy can come up here, and Kaysen and Mr. Johnny and all of them can come up here and tell 10 times worse stories than what I've dealt with. I mean, Brad and Andy have been doing it since they had to have horses. So they've seen way more than I've seen. But I don't say that to brag about how tough I am and how I can endure so much, because I can't. And it took me a long time to get to the point where I could function. When I first started in the world of firefighting, I was 16. And it's taken a long time for me to get to where I can process what I'm seeing, what's going on, what's happening, and work through it, not only at work, but when I come home. And the same can be said about our Christian life. How do we handle that? How is our Christian health? How are our mind towards God and the church? How strong is that? Have we had to work for that, or has it been pretty easy? On a scale of 1 to 10, I don't want everybody in the room, but I would like some people to say, how do you feel your Christian health is right now? I'll start. I'd say mine's probably about a 6. I got some work. Like I've said many times before, I will not come up here and teach a lesson that does not relate back to me and does not point back to me and show me areas that I need to be working on. Would anybody care to share theirs?
About the same.
That same?
Yeah.
I feel like I'm doing a little better, but not doing super great. Sissy?
I do think it will fluctuate. I think sometimes you'll be on one end of the scale and sometimes
Yeah.
you'll be on the other, depending on your life circumstances and your age, just kind of what you're going through at the time. Anyway, so I think it can. I don't really know if I can even say what mine is right now, but I know throughout my life it's fluctuated a lot.
Mr. John, do you have something?
I think mine is fairly well.
Fairly well?
I try to keep moving forward,
Mm-hmm.
not going back.
Yes. And that's the hardest part, is keeping going forward and doing these things that we know that are good for our mental health.
Yeah, keep growing.
And keep trying. And that's the hard part, is just to keep on trying. Do we think Paul struggled? I would think Paul struggled. If someone will please read 2 Corinthians 12, verses 6 through 10. 2 Corinthians 12, verses 6 through 10. Too far. Yes, sir.
Though I might desire to boast, I will not be a fool, for I will speak the truth. But I refrain lest anyone should think of me above what he sees me to be or hears from me. And lest I should be exalted above measure by the abundance of the revelation, a thorn in the flesh was given to me, a messenger of Satan to buffet me, lest I be exalted above measure. Concerning this thing, I pleaded with the Lord 3 times that it might depart from me. And he said to me, my grace is sufficient for you, for my strength is made perfect in weakness. Therefore, most gladly I will rather boast in my infirmities, that the power of Christ may rest upon me. Therefore, I take pleasure in infirmities, in reproaches, in needs, in persecutions, in distresses, for Christ's sake. For when I am weak, then I am strong.
I love how he starts this section of verses, well, the section that we read, is he's very humble. He's like, I'm not going to talk about how good I am and how much I can go through and this and that and this and that, because we see in other verses how he talks about what all he has endured for Christ's name. He's been beaten, he's been shipwrecked, he's been jailed, he's been hungry, he's been chased by his own countrymen. I mean, there's so many things that he went through, and he's obviously tempted, just like we are. His Christian health suffers just like we are. Like Aunt Candy said, it goes through ebbs and flows. It's up and it's down. And when it's high, it's high. And when it's low, it's low. Just kind of like how our everyday life is. I feel like our Christian health and our mental health are kind of can go hand in hand at times, depending on how well we feel, maybe how much we read the Bible, maybe how well we study for that day. Because man, I just can't do it today. This happened at work, and then I got home, and the kids had done this, and then this happened, and it's just, you can let yourself get down and talk yourself out of that. And I know I have many a times. I am not perfect by any means. I know I have let the day get ahead of me, and I know I should have read my Bible more, and I should have done this, and I should have done that. But as long as we keep trying, we know it's going to be hard times. He says here, and he says, I take pleasure in infirmities. He takes pleasure in that because he likes to be tested. He likes to be tried. And a lot of us don't like that. I know I personally, don't necessarily like it, but I know it's good for me. I know there's times whenever I'm going through something, I'm like, there's something I'm going to learn out of this. I don't know what it's going to be right now, but in the end, I'm going to look back on this and be like, okay, this is what I learned, this and this and this, and then I can do better, and then I can grow from that, and I can better handle the next time that I see this. And the very last sentence, I love it. When I am weak, then I am strong. If you will turn with me to Ecclesiastes 3. I'll read that real quick. Ecclesiastes 3, 1 through 8. Ecclesiastes 3, we'll be reading verses 1 through 8. To everything there is a season, a time for every purpose under heaven, a time to be born, a time to die, a time to plant, and a time to pluck what is planted, a time to kill, and a time to heal, a time to break down, and a time to build up, a time to weep, and a time to laugh, a time to mourn, and a time to dance, a time to cast away stones, and a time to gather stones, a time to embrace, and a time to refrain from embracing, a time to gain, and a time to lose, a time to keep and a time to throw away, a time to tear and a time to sow, a time to keep silence and a time to speak, a time to love and a time to hate, a time of war and a time of peace. To everything there is a season. I have to remind myself of this many, many times. There is a time. There is a season for this. Every year we have summer, fall for 3 days, winter for 1 day, summer, and then spring. And but every year we have seasons. You have summer, winter, fall, spring, whatever else there is in between. We have that. And we know that in 2 months it may get cold. Maybe. If I was somewhere more up north that got a lot of snow, should be using this time to be like, all right, I know in 2 months or 1 month or however long, I'm going to get 6 feet of snow at minimum, usually. So I need to start, okay, do I need firewood? Do I need to get propane for my heater? Do I need to get my generator fixed up? What do I need to do to prepare for winter? Because winter is coming. Every year, winter comes and winter goes. And then spring comes and then summer comes. And it's like, okay, what do I need to do in spring? Well, I'm planting in spring, so I need to get my plants organized in spring. So when summer comes, that they're good, they're ready, we got everything established. And I have to remind myself that life is the same way. There are seasons to this life. There's good seasons and there's bad seasons. Not every season is the same. Every season is going to be different. Some seasons are going to be harder than normal. Like they're saying this year we're supposed to have a terrible winter, and I hope. But they're saying we're going to have a terrible winter. So is there anything that I should be thinking ahead and getting prepared for that? I could know that, hey, in a couple weeks, I'm going to have to go on a work trip. And I'm going to have to be around these things, and people are going to ask me, hey, after we get through with this conference, let's go to the bar, let's go hang out, let's go do this. I know that I can prepare myself for, hey, I know in 2 months I have this work trip. I need to be building up my strength for whenever I know that they're going to ask me that I can tell them no. I know at my work, if you go on any kind of class or whatnot, Andy can attest, after you get out of class, everyone in that class is like, hey, we're going to the bar. Let's go to the bar. Let's go here. Let's do this. Let's do that. And it's like, no, I'm going back to my hotel room. I'm going to study. I'm going to call my family, and I'm going to go to bed. And then tomorrow, the same thing. They're going to get out of class. Hey, let's go to the bar, man. No, I don't want to do that. So we can do things to prepare ourselves for what season is coming ahead. Now, granted, that season may be harder than what we think it's going to be, and it may be easier than what we think it's going to be. It all depends on how well we have kept our mental health and our Christian health. Are we constantly studying? Are we reading? Are we praying about these things that we need to be focusing on, that we're struggling with? Because everyone struggles with something different. I may struggle with some things. Christian might struggle with different things. The things that tempt me may not tempt Christopher at all. He's like, why in the world does that tempt you? That has no desire for me. There's plenty of things. Everyone is different. Everyone handles everything different. Again, back to my job, it's took me a long time to have compassion. I felt like I lost my compassion for a little while, and I went to not a dark place, because I haven't really ever been to a dark place in a hard time, but I didn't have any compassion for anybody. I was like, you're seriously calling me at 3 o'clock in the morning because your boyfriend of 2 days broke up with you? Like, are you serious? Well, this is something to them. This is nothing to me. It's something for them. And just like here in our Christian life, that something may be really, really big to them, but to you, it's like, I've never even thought, I didn't know you could do that. I didn't know that was a sin, because it just never tempted me. It never crossed my mind. And that's just something that we need to work on, and we need to be constantly thinking about, is how different everyone is, and how mentally some people are some places and some places, sometimes they're not. And we need to use that time to think about ourselves and how are we going to approach them? How can I talk to them? I can see them struggling, so I need to be compassionate. I have a hard time with being very blunt and very strict and like, this is the problem, fix the problem, get over the problem, and you're done. No, it's not how it works sometimes. You can ask Anthony. I've been like, this is your problem, this is what you need to do, you need to get it fixed. And she's like, no, that's not how that's going to work. And then she tells me what I can do. And that's how that goes. So there's always a time to be compassionate and to be humble. Like we saw here with Paul earlier, he was a very humble person. I need to be humble if I've gotten over something and I've shown how strong I am, and someone else is struggling with that same thing. I need to be, all right, this is what I did. Let me help you. What can I do to help you? Not, oh, I did it in like 2 days. Why is it taking you 4? You're taking twice as long as me. I'm just twice as better person as you. And it takes a lot for us to be humble. Sometimes. Not all the time. But it can take a lot for us to just kind of step back and be like, all right, how can I help this person? They're struggling. Why are they struggling? How long have they been struggling? Are they asking me for help, or am I just kind of noticing something? If I'm noticing something, I need to say these things. I need to go and I need to talk to them. Like, hey, man, I've noticed a couple of things. We're very good about it at work. We are together 10 days a month. Yeah, Jesse.
I think you're going right with that. I think a lot of times it's hard to, we know logically, but realistically, it's hard to normalize that we all sin.
Mhm.
We all do, right? And so we don't really like to talk about it. Sin is this big bad thing that, obviously we're not to do, but I think it's something that we do need to talk about with one another. Be like, hey, let me know what you're struggling with. I can help you through it if it's, in my ability or like you were saying, if you know somebody's good, you kind of figured out how to gauge, helping them through. Because again, we're in this together. Like, sin is not this thing that we don't talk about. Paul wrote all these letters that, you've looked at a couple of them. He's talking about sin and how to fix it, and not just a general sense, hey, don't do this sin, don't do that sin, correct.
Because when you look back at Paul's past, Paul probably was the biggest sinner among us. So I'm sure those temptations arose whenever he was trying to do what's right, especially early on. It seems like as soon as you're starting to walk that good fight, the devil just throws everything that he knows that you can't or you couldn't handle in the past, but are working to handle now. It just seems like he's like, all right, you're weak. I'm going to get you now and get you back to where I want you. Yes.
Well, it's okay to fail. It's what you decide to do afterwards. You can either ask for help and move on and take the advice and apply it to your daily life, or you can take the other path and keep failing and keep that cycle alive.
Mm-hmm. We saw with Paul, he went to prayer 3 times before something may have happened. Go ahead, yes, sir.
Yeah, Proverbs 24, verse 16, for the righteous falls 7 times and rises again, but the wicked stumble in times of calamity.
Mm-hmm.
And fall, let's get back up.
Yep.
Back on track.
That's all that matters. You get knocked down, you get back up, Carolyn.
I think too, adding on what Jesse's saying is, I feel like we all to a certain degree kind of can hold each other to a higher pedestal than what we see ourselves, in the sense of, well, they would never struggle like I struggle,
Mm-hmm.
or they would never gossip, they would never struggle with it, whatever it is. So I feel like it's almost like he's saying, you kind of want to make it even more secretive from that person that you think is this really strong, amazing Christian that you want to be like. And it's like, well, maybe if you actually talk to them, they can relate to you, and then you kind of realize, oh, I think that's comforting to know that your brothers and sisters struggle. We know we do, like Jesse said, but we don't talk about it. That's private. We don't want to be judged. So then whenever you realize, oh, hey, sister so-and-so has the same struggles as I do, I feel like it even strengthens you then to want to do better together, and you feel comforted by the fact that you're not alone.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I feel like as a guy, I struggle with that more because I'm supposed to be the head of the house. I'm supposed to be unbreakable. I'm supposed to be the toughest person that is in my family. I'm supposed to be it, and nothing can get past me, and I can't show any emotion ever. Not true. I cry all the time. Just look when Ada was born. They asked me, like, is this your first kid? I'm like, no, it's my second. And but it's okay to show that weakness. It's okay to be. I hate using the word vulnerable because it makes me feel weak, but it's okay to be vulnerable. It's okay to let yourself out there and show what you're feeling. I'm not good at that at all. You can ask me. I'm not good at showing feelings and talking about how I'm feeling. I'm good. I'm fine. I'm dying inside. Yes.
You're just very tenderhearted.
Friend.
Just to go back to what Jolyn was saying, I feel like there is comfort in numbers,
Mm-hmm.
So.
Tina?
One thing I lose sight of quite frequently, I'm doing better, is that our spiritual health is directly connected to our mental health.
Mm-hmm.
Because if your spiritual life is a mess, or you're not thinking spiritually about things, it makes it very easy to mishandle other things, which then has an effect on your mental health.
Mm-hmm.
I have a supervisor that's very difficult for me to deal with, and Candy can tell you, I had several phone calls because I let her trigger me so much. And only when I decided to start being very prayerful about it, I have a meeting with her every Wednesday morning. Only when I decided to start being prayerful and remember that I serve Jesus, did that whole situation turn around. Because until that happened, I would dread it. I didn't want Wednesday to come. Like, it just, I wouldn't sleep over it because I did not want to meet with this woman and listen to the silliness.
Mm-hmm.
But only when I decided to take a spiritual approach did it have a good effect on my mental health.
Jesse.
I think I read along kind of a different aspect of what she's saying. We talked about it at camp some actually, but a lot of times we'll separate spiritual discipline and discipline in our everyday lives, going to the gym, eating right, staying on top of things, but we're doing ourselves a disservice and putting ourselves at a disadvantage when we do that. They do correlate and run directly together. I mean, if you have a stronger discipline in your daily life, it's gonna be much easier to stay spiritually disciplined. Vice versa, if you're undisciplined spiritually, well, that's why you're not hitting your goals, or it's the same thing.
Mm-hmm. And it takes time and effort, Johnny.
Well, say, he tells us in Galatians 6, 1-5, he says, brethren, if a man is overtaken in any trespass, you who are spiritual, restore such a one in a spirit of gentleness, considering yourself, lest you also be tempted. Bear one another's burdens, and so fulfill the law of Christ. For if anyone thinks himself to be something when he is nothing, he deceives himself. Let each one examine his own work, and then he will have rejoicing in himself alone, and not in another. For each one shall bear his own load.
Mhm.
We are supposed to help, but we are supposed to do it lovingly and
Mm-hmm.
gently,
Mm-hmm. And take care of our own self.
Yeah. You can say, are you sure this thing that you're doing is right?
Mm-hmm.
How about we study it? See
Yeah.
what God says about it.
Mm, that's been my approach with a lot. We've been doing a Bible study at work on trying to whenever we're not busy. But that's been kind of my approach is like they'll say something. I'm like, well, what are your thoughts on that? What does the Bible say about that? Can you prove to me that baptism doesn't save? Like, I want you to prove it to me. I want you to read the Bible and find, I'm going to give you verses to look at and prove to me that it doesn't save me. And we haven't heard back from him just yet. But I saw Sissy and then.
If we're not spending time with our brethren, then we can't bear their loads, and we can't know the sins they struggle with, and we can't be praying for each other. Kind of just all connect those together. That needs to be who your circle is. You have to be with your brethren, you have to fellowship with your brethren, even just outside of study time, in order to know what they're struggling with, what they need help with, in order to reach out to them if you're the one that needs the help too. So it's just very important to remember who your people are.
Absolutely. And going back to what Zerlin said about just kind of letting it out. For me, I feel like it's hard sometimes when you're in that circle, because we have that circle here. I feel like we have a very, very good circle here, but I can feel like it's hard to let my burdens out because I don't know what your burdens are, and I don't want to add more to your burden. I don't want to make your life harder. I don't want you to have to worry about me. And it's like, well, then I'm just not going to say anything.
But then you're not allowing us to fulfill our Christian duty to help each other if we don't share our burdens like we're commanded to. We can't help like we're commanded to. So it's just kind of a cycle that's not the godly way. So I also agree with that, and I don't like sharing either.
Yeah.
but sometimes it's very helpful to have those few people that you really, really trust and learn, and then it just helps you grow.
Well, and I will say,
Oop.
I'm sorry.
Nope, you're good. You're good.
I will say too that it's like if I'm going through something, it really helps me to help other people and get my mind off of what I'm going through. Kind of taking your mind off of yourself and putting it on others, and it can almost help you work through your own stuff because you're not focused, you're not dwelling on it.
I mean, just go back to the text that you're working through in here. Be anxious for nothing. I mean, that's pretty clear.
Yeah.
Be anxious for nothing. I mean, I think we spend a lot of our time in anxiety in the world around us when we have the solution right here in the rest of this, but in everything by prayer and supplication with thanksgiving, let your requests be known to God. So really, we're not putting, when we put all that burden on ourselves and each other before we put this on God, because guess what? God can handle everything. And so you may not be able to handle my burdens. And I'm not saying that that's not, that you don't want to help. But if I'm not taking those burdens to God first, then I'm doing a disservice to my Christian brethren. and my Christianity and the Word of God, because right here it says, be anxious for nothing. And I mean, I think we say, well, that's God just don't understand. What? God don't what? He didn't come down here as a man and live as a man and live
Yeah. And go
for
through
this
everything we went
reason
through.
so that he can bear our burdens. It's kind of one of those things that for me, I put the cart before the horse in this a lot of the times when I'm putting, right? Is that how that goes? Yeah, cart before the horse. When I don't take my anxieties to God first, because guess what? Who can handle it every time and has a solution for me every time? And sometimes it's be still and know that I'm the Lord.
Mhm.
So that's.
Yeah. And going off of that, if you look at Matthew 6:25, therefore I say to you, do not worry about your life, what you will eat or what you will drink, nor about your body, what you will put on. Is not life more than food, and the body more than clothing? Look at the birds of the air, for they neither sow nor reap nor gather into barns, yet your heavenly Father feeds them. Are you not more value than they? Which of you worrying can add 1 cubit to your stature? Those I feel like are also very powerful verses. Do not worry about your life. The Lord is going to take care of you. Like Aaron was saying, if you put your worries upon Him and be anxious for nothing, the Lord will help you take care of it. What is it? James 4:8, draw nigh to God and He will draw nigh to you. As long as we're doing what the Lord wants us to do, He's going to take care of us. Just like He takes care of the birds, the insects, everything. He takes care of them. Just like He takes care of us. He takes better care of us because we do what He wants us to do.
Say that's how Paul rejoices, or, his infirmities and his everything, because he has a spiritual mindset. He's just looking at the big picture. These little things that bother us throughout the day. Obviously, people go through big things, and I don't want to belittle that, but these little things like, oh, my coworker went and talked to me today. Okay, let's look at this big spiritual picture today. So whatever, and maybe she didn't talk to you because he says he's suffering for Christ. Maybe she didn't talk to you because you told her something about the Bible she didn't like. Maybe it was something persecuting you for being a Christian. Just look at the big picture. That's really, God cares, and He wants you to come to Him about that. But Paul's able to keep his mind spiritual, and that's how he's able to just withstand all these things that he's going through.
And that's where I love the verse where he says, "For me to live is Christ, but to die is gain." I'll do you, and then Jerry.
1 Peter 5:7 says, "Cast all your cares and worries upon Him, for He cares for you."
Absolutely, and that's a common thing that we're seeing in these verses. Cast your cares upon Him. Do not worry. Do be anxious for nothing. The Lord is telling you these things for a reason. He's not going to tell us this and put it in here so many times if He doesn't mean it. If He says He cast your worries and cares upon me, cast your worries and cares upon Him. Jerry.
I don't know what you said about He's just going to take better care of us than even we think we can. I feel like we have a way in our head of like, well, this is how I want God to care for me. This is what I expect from you, God. This is how I need to be cared for. No, God's going to care for us how He knows we need to be cared for. So I feel like sometimes we're just looking for this one thing that we want, and it's like you're missing all of these blessings that God is giving you. He's fixing it for you. He is caring for you. It's just not how we want in our human brains, and He just knows better.
Or it's on the time frame that we want. I'm very bad. I want, like, if I get in my head that I want something, I'm gonna figure out how I can do it right now, this very second. And God's a lot more patient and long suffering than that. He's like, no. You don't need this new bow right now. You need it next year. I don't want it next year though. I want it right now. I want to go to the Shields and buy that bow right now, but I don't need to. I need to be patient. And obviously there's more important things than that, more spiritual and a different spiritual aspect of that. But to sit back and stop and be like, okay, I've asked for it and I've asked for it and I've asked for it. Like Paul, he asked 3 times. First time, he was probably hoping that, hey, it's going to be over. I prayed for it. I went to God about it. We got a good relationship. It's going to be over and done. No, once the 7th time, okay, Lord, what's going on? I'm coming to you again. And then the 3rd time, then, well, this is the 3rd time I'm coming to you. Like, what's going on? No, it's in His time. When His time frame lines up with what you want, then great. If it doesn't line up with what you want, great. The Lord has a plan for us, and the Lord has a path for us to follow as long as we are following the path that He wants us to follow. Jesse?
Just First to go with that, Job 40. I mean, God demonstrating his power. He knows more than we do. Proverbs, beginning of wisdom is the word. And he is all powerful.
All powerful, all knowing, all forgiving, all long suffering, all everything. All right. So that's 5 minutes, right? 5 minutes. All right. Good deal. So, kind of going back and recapping, everyone handles things differently. We all need to focus on ourselves and help ourselves. There's a lot of things that we can do. Real quick, I would like us to name off some things that we do that do help our mental health. For me personally, it's working out. I've recently started and I go outside, I turn my radio on, Eden's out there with me, and I do whatever it is I'm going to do, and we have a great time, and that really helps me to kind of decompress, do something hard, and get on with my day. And then there's reading the Bible, there's praying. I mean, you name it, there's a bunch. But what are some things that personally help y'all?
Reading the Bible.
Reading the Bible?
I feel like getting wisdom from other Christian brothers, sisters, from their takes on what they've read in scripture, how it might have hit them differently than it hits me, and then it's a different line on it.
So talking, we know you like to do that. Go ahead. Fishing? Absolutely. Getting outside, getting in nature, just being surrounded by that. I like whenever it's deer season, I'll bring a Bible with me and I'll read my Bible a little bit and I'll pray. Like every time I get out there, that's the first thing I do is I pray to the Lord, say thank you for letting me be out here, keep me safe. If I see something great. If not, thank you for letting me be out here in your creation. Mr. Paul.
Say, sharing the gospel where you may run into somebody that's in need, where 60-year-old man says, talking about another subject matter, expresses that he's an atheist. He does not believe, he cannot understand the science behind the belief that God is real. And then you would think, well, he's an atheist, so why would he even share the gospel with this person? He doesn't even believe there is a God. And then you have a conversation, and then 2 weeks later, they came back and said, so you're a believer? Yes. You go to church? Yes. So you ready to talk? He said, it's coming. So where, the example of, for somebody that I don't want to hear it, or in this case, I don't even believe there is a God. The most read book on the planet. And yet, to be patient and to have that, like, wow, how selfish was I to think that even somebody that doesn't even believe there is a God is really a candidate for the gospel. And we keep that to ourselves sometimes when we get the opportunity to tell somebody that doesn't even believe in God, period. It's amazing how much this release and relief and just, empowerment in saying, I've been selfish with the gospel and not sharing where I could have shared with somebody that I thought I'm just wasting my time.
We sing a song, "The Gospel is for all." The gospel is for all. Anthea, Jesse, and then we'll close.
Just kind of playing off what Mr. Paul said. I know it's Romans 12, but I don't remember what verse it is. Just talking about not being conformed to this world, but being transformed by the renewing of your mind. His word has the ability to take away our anxiety, our anxious mind. It has the ability to change your mind. It's just overall, it has the ability to change the mind of an atheist. That just makes me think about it.
Jesse?
I think a big one is just establishing a sense of perspective. I mean, you mentioned Ecclesiastes, and that's all about, things of this life are vain, it doesn't matter, in the long run. How we live does, but the problems we face in the long run doesn't matter. You mentioned Paul, he said, for me to live is Christ, to die is gain. I'm living here to serve him. What I'm going through, I'm going to get through it. It's going to work out and be fine.
Yep.
What matters is where I'm going.
Yep, as long as I'm doing what he wants me to do, that's all that matters. I don't need anything else. So I appreciate everyone's participation tonight. I hope y'all were able to bear with me and through my voice for the last 35 minutes. So I appreciate that. But on a serious note, if anyone has anything that they want to talk about, we all suffer in silence. We've kind of talked about that. I feel like we all kind of do it. there's no point in doing it. There's no need in doing it. It doesn't benefit anybody, especially you. Cast your cares and worries upon the Lord and be anxious for nothing. And that's one of the hardest things that we can do. If you need any help tonight, if you want to study, if you need to just talk to somebody, we don't know what everyone's going through, so it's not going to hurt to talk to somebody. But if you have any needs tonight, please come as we stand and as we sing.
Soldiers